Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever had that incredibly frustrating universal annoyance? You know the one. It's that feeling like there is a lump or maybe a thick, stubborn piece of mucus stuck right in the back of your throat, and it literally just won't go away. Well, welcome to today's explainer, where we're unmasking the persistent sensation of throat blockage. It's honestly a feeling that drives people absolutely crazy, completely disrupting their focus and their day. So today we're going to figure out exactly what's going on behind the scenes, and more importantly, how you can finally find some real relief.
You undoubtedly know the feeling we're talking about here. You're constantly swallowing, you're clearing your throat every 2 minutes, or maybe you're even coughing repeatedly, just trying to dislodge this stubborn blockage that refuses to budge. And here's the thing, it is an incredibly common phenomenon, especially for adults over the age of 50. You might wake up at this irritation, deal with it all through your workday, try literally every home remedy you can think of, and yet it feels like a battle you just can't win. Honestly, it is totally valid to feel frustrated by this. It's exhausting.
So, because it feels thick and sticky, right, most people immediately jump to one very logical conclusion. It's gotta be mucus. So they drink loads of water to flush it down, they take over-the-counter mucus remedies, and they basically treat it exactly like a lingering chest cold. But here is the core mystery we need to unpack. We have to separate the feeling of mucus from actual mucus. They aren't always the same thing. And why does that matter? Well, if you're treating this sensation like an actual mucus problem, treating the wrong problem might be the exact reason you aren't finding any relief whatsoever. To understand why treating this like a mucus issue just isn't working, let's look at Section 1, Uncovering Globus Sensation. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that doctors actually have a specific name for this phenomenon. It's called globus sensation. It's officially defined as the feeling that there's a lump, tightness, or blockage in the throat, even when absolutely nothing is physically there. But I want to be super clear here, because this is just so important for your peace of mind. Just because nothing is physically blocking your airway doesn't mean it's all in your head. Not at all. The feeling is completely 100% real, even if the excess mucus isn't.
So, what on earth is causing this phantom feeling? Let's move to Section 2, the hidden culprits.
Okay, so one of the most common yet completely stealthy culprits is something called silent acid reflux. We're all pretty familiar with typical heartburn, right? That painful burning sensation right in your chest. But silent reflux operates differently. It's sneaky and often goes completely unnoticed. Basically, tiny amounts of stomach acid travel upward and silently irritate the incredibly delicate lining of your throat. Over time, this constant, low-grade irritation creates a persistent feeling of fullness, thickness, or, you guessed it, mucus. So many adults suffer from silent reflux without ever realizing it. They focus all their energy on mucus treatments, while the real issue, the acid, just continues its stealthy irritation completely unchecked. But acid reflux isn't the only hidden culprit out there. In fact, there's a behavioral trap that so many of us fall into. Actually, I was super surprised to learn that the very habit you use to fix the problem may actually be keeping it alive. Crazy, right? It's this highly ironic, self-sabotaging trap that we trigger simply by trying to soothe our own throats. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how that trap works. It's a super frustrating three-step irritation cycle. Step 1, your throat feels irritated or ticklish. Step 2, you clear your throat. And let's be honest, doing that actually feels really good for a brief second, doesn't it? It feels like you've done something productive. But then comes step 3. The physical force of repeated throat clearing actually irritates those delicate tissues even more. Your throat becomes highly sensitive, so it feels like something is stuck there again. So, you clear it again. You are literally causing the exact sensation you're trying to get rid of, locking yourself in this continuous loop that can drag on for months or even years. Now, aside from acid reflux and that pesky throat clearing habit, we have a whole lineup of other unexpected suspects that can totally mimic the feeling of stubborn mucus. First up is dryness. As we age, things like changes in hydration, indoor heating, or even common medications like antihistamines or blood pressure meds can really dry out the throat. This creates a sticky feeling that perfectly mimics thick mucus, even when hardly any is there. Next, we've got stress and muscle tension. During periods of worry or poor sleep, the muscles in your neck and throat can physically tighten up, creating pressure and the very real sensation of a lump. Finally, there's postnasal drip. This is when mucus from the nose drips down the back of the throat because of allergies or environmental irritants. And in this case, treating the nose is what provides the relief, not treating the throat. Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 3, Simple Steps for Relief. All right, here are 5 concrete, actionable steps you can take starting right now. Number 1, hydrate. Sip water constantly throughout the day rather than waiting until you're actually thirsty. This consistent hydration really soothes that irritation. Number 2, and honestly, this is absolutely critical, swallow. Whenever you feel the urge to clear your throat, replace that habit with a gentle sip of water or a hard swallow. You have to break that physical irritation cycle. Number 3, timing. Try to avoid eating large meals right before bedtime. This helps stop silent reflux by giving your stomach plenty of time to empty. Number 4, watch trigger foods. Spicy foods, heavy meals, alcohol, excessive caffeine, they can all trigger throat irritation. And number 5, humidify. Fire up a humidifier, especially during colder months or when the AC is blasting, to combat all that environmental dryness.
So the crucial point is knowing when to get a professional opinion, which brings us to section 4, when to seek help.
Look, while those daily habits we just talked about are incredibly effective for breaking the cycle of irritation, they are not a substitute for professional medical care. There are some specific red flag symptoms where you absolutely must stop self-treating and consult a doctor immediately. If you experience actual difficulty swallowing food or liquid, if you have unexplained weight loss, persistent pain in your throat, if you are coughing up blood, or if you notice significant lasting changes in your voice, these are serious signs that a more complex condition might be at play. You should always discuss these symptoms with a doctor without delay.
To wrap up today's explainer, remember the biggest takeaway. If you want relief, stop fighting phantom mucus and start addressing the underlying irritation. And please remember, this explainer is strictly for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider before making any changes to your routine. But man, it's fascinating, isn't it? Our brains are so hardwired to protect our airways that a tiny bit of invisible acid or just a simple dry throat can completely trick us into feeling a massive, immovable blockage. So the next time you feel that familiar lump, ask yourself, is your body actually fighting an intruder, or is it just caught in an endless loop of its own making? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to share your own experiences in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning and stay curious.